Here we're on the beach here in San Diego, and the Mexican border is about 10 miles away. And what concerns me is that we're ruining Mexico. You know, a lot of people look at this illegal immigrant problem as it's America's problem, but it's also Mexico's problem. Because think of this. In a recent poll, 50 million Mexicans said they'd like to live in the United States. There's only 100 million Mexicans, so there's 50 million that would like to, at least admit to, and that only leaves half the country that would like to live in the country. Imagine our country if half the people wanted to leave it. Now think about the people that are leaving Mexico. They're the young, they're the vital, they're the entrepreneurial, they're the risk takers. So in a sense, America is taking the greatest generation, the greatest hope for Mexico's future, and then we're bringing them across here. Now there's this whole idea that we allow them to come into this country because there are jobs that Americans don't want to do. Well, in my experience, the only jobs that Americans don't want to do are ones that are unsafe, they're dirty, they may be toxic. Why do those jobs exist in America? The only reason those jobs exist is because employers don't invest in the technology or in the safety that makes those jobs attractive. You know, in the 50s, we didn't have any maids, we didn't have any nannies. So you know what we did? We invented washing machines. We invented dishwashers. We invented all these tools so that we didn't need to have maids. Well, now, in the 21st century, the maid business is booming in America. Well, it's just symptomatic of the way we make things, the way we grow things, the way we harvest things. If we would invest in the technologies of the 21st century, we wouldn't have jobs that we'd have to exploit people from other countries. This sounds really extreme, but there are a lot of people during the slave era in the United States, a lot of plantation owners that said, well, we're providing opportunity for Africans. I mean, we give them a better life than they have in Africa. Well, isn't that the same mentality that we're using exactly to exploit these people? Now let's go back to Mexico and what's happening. Well, there are towns in Mexico where there are no males in those towns. No young males. All we've left behind are the wives, the mothers, and the daughters of the people that have come to the United States. And as these illegals work and send money home, what happens is the local prices inflate. So the people that haven't left Mexico can't afford to even live there anymore. Now, what is the future? Are we really going to bring every Mexican to America? I don't think so. So we're either going to devastate that country of its future, or we're going to have to try to work to help create better jobs, better opportunities in Mexico. They have to stand up and do it for themselves. They can no longer afford to have a corrupt government that acts like a banana republic in a first world. They've got the resources, they've got the energy. They could have the same kind of lifestyle that we have in America in 20 years if they could get their act together. And we need to help them get their act together. But if we don't do that, there's no end in sight. And one last thing is, if we don't stem this immigration, the statistics say we're going to have another 100 million people live in America in 35 years. Who's going to pay for the roads? Who's going to pay for the schools? Who's going to pay for the health care? Nobody is stepping up and talking about these things. It isn't a problem of just allowing guest workers to work here legally or to have some way where we can give these people American citizenship. That is not the problem. The problem is the one I stated, and we better get busy about solving it. Other than that, I'm not upset.